Hello, my name is Jenna Mancini, and I'm currently a junior at Eastern Connecticut State University studying elementary education and visual arts. So I aspire, hopefully in a few years, to become an elementary school teacher, where a big part of my job is going to be teaching English language acquisition to my students. Throughout the past year, I have taken a few courses on ELA instruction, and I have been in two different elementary schools where I have observed their ELA instruction there. And I think that what I've really come to believe, which is the viewpoint of many English teachers before me, is that the goal should be to create not school time literacy, but the goal should be to create lifetime literacy. And so by this, what I mean is that we want our students to be strong readers and writers and develop a love for reading and writing, not only in school, but in all aspects of their life. And I believe that the way to create this is by providing our students with authentic learning opportunities. This semester, an assignment, and I guess you could even say a hobby of mine, has been to read 15 different young adult books that are different than the books that I might typically read. So I have really learned the importance of reading diverse books, I guess, for myself as a teacher and for my students one day. So previous to this year, I had never really thought about why is it important to read books for people different than me, or what kind of characters are portrayed in the stories that we're reading to our students. And I found that a lot of books don't really have a lot of diversity in them, or the books that we're sharing in our schools aren't very diverse. So there are a lot of different resources out there for teachers to find diverse books to read to their students. One of my favorite is just a list that one of my professors, Dr. Susanna Richards, gave me. So this list has pages and pages of different diverse books that are more recent that we could read to our students. Another resource that kind of goes hand in hand with that is Reading Without Walls. So April is Reading Without Walls month, and what this campaign is all about is inspiring readers to read books that they wouldn't normally read, to read about diverse things. I've learned that as an ELA teacher, it's really important for our students to be reading books that act as windows, mirrors, and doors. So what this means is mirrors. We want students to be reading books that they can see themselves in. Windows, we want them to be reading books about the world beyond them. Indoors, we want to open the doors up for something new for them to learn about, something they've never read about before. This semester, I have created a blog that captures each of the young adult books that I read. ManciniReads.blogspot.com. And for this blog, I've read books about LGBTQ characters, different characters who have survived the Holocaust. I've learned about characters who have imaginary friends. And so through reading these diverse books, I think I have a more worldly perspective as to maybe what things my students or my peers might be going through. One of my favorite books that I read this semester was George by Alex Gino. So this book is a story about a young girl who realizes that she is transgender, and she's forced with at a very young age, telling her best friend and explaining to her mom, I'm not a boy anymore, I want to be a girl. So I really enjoyed George. That was one of my favorite books. And through creating this blog, it really pushed myself to experiment and learn about different types of books. So in addition to reading diverse books, the next thing that I think is really important for creating authentic learning opportunities is to use a vast array of different tools when it comes to ELA instruction. So this semester I spent a lot of time focusing on different ways to learn ELA, not just doing a book report for everything that you read. There's lots of different options out online for before, during, and after reading activities. So in my blog, ManciniReads.blogspot.com, I have a lot of different examples of reading activities you could do while reading different texts. I also have learned that there's a lot of different online resources that we can use. So in the 21st century, media online is such a big part of our lives, and I think that students really love to use online tools. So there's things like Google Sites or Evernote or Padlet, or creating vlogs or websites or videos, or so many really awesome things that you can do with technology that will help your students with ELA instruction. So I believe that using diverse books in our ELA instruction and using different types of projects or resources to teach our students different reading and writing skills are really the two main ways that we can create authentic learning experiences for our students. And I think that a big goal of mine, or as I can say, my why I want to teach, is I want to teach because I want to inspire my students to have a love for learning. Personally, I love learning. Anything I'm doing, I want to learn something new, and I really want to inspire all of my students to feel that way. I believe that by creating authentic learning experiences, students will develop a love for learning. And if they see that there's a reason behind everything that they're doing and they're not just doing the same boring book reports over and over again, students will develop a love for learning. And with that love and enjoyment for learning, will then become lifetime literacy skills that students need, not just seeing reading and writing as something that they do during the school day. Thanks for listening.